Welcome to the 217 podcast, presented by Decatur Earth Mover Credit Union and hosted by me, Jess Younghouse. In the podcast, we're going to talk about the Decatur community and the people that make it great. Thanks for listening and thanks for watching. We hope you enjoy it. Welcome back to the 217 podcast. I'm here today with Mike Walcott, the general manager of the Devon Lakeshore Amphitheater at the Park District. So welcome, Mike. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Jess. Appreciate it.
So first, I just want to get to know you a little bit. And what is your history in Decatur? Are you from here? Do you have roots here?
Yeah, born here, raised here for the most part. Went to LSA K through 8th grade.
Woo!
There was no
LSA
high school back then. Otherwise, probably would have stuck with that too. But went to Stephen Decatur High School after that. Enjoyed that as well. From there, went on to Richland. Spent a couple years there figuring out what adult life looked like for myself a little bit. And I highly recommend Richland for any student that's not really sure what is next. Great place to go.
For sure.
And on top of that, transferred to EIU. And wrapped up time there, then came back here and started working. So lived in Charleston, going to school there and things, and spent a summer away working as a summer camp counselor. But other than that, this is home.
Why did you come back to Decatur after Charleston?
I don't know. It's just home. People don't always adjust well to change. I'm kind of one of those. I fight it as much as I really can sometimes. But then once I do it, I also embrace it pretty quick. But family's here, familiarity's here, your friends are here. I think friends are a lot of times what keep people grounded in life, whether it be on a day-to-day basis or for long-term situations. And I was just home and found work here that I wanted to do for a career and just kind of chased that and ran with that. And had chances to move and looked at moving a few times, but just for whatever reason, never came about. Okay.
Now, a lot of people know you as Toby Tucker from 95Q. How long did you work at the radio station? Is that what you did out of college?
Yeah, so actually in college, I did more time doing TV stuff than I did radio. But I enjoyed broadcasting in all facets. And coming out of EIU, WAND at the time, the local station was not looking for anyone on camera. So I took a job working studio camera, which was still getting my foot in the door. And I knew in time it would provide opportunities possibly. And loved it. Great team there. And but there I heard out on the radio one day for an opening casting call at the radio station that I listened to. I was a country music fan for the most part. 95Q had an open job. I'm like, well, I want this job. And I went and I got called back and did a tryout show and got the job and spent 12 and a half years there full time, doing mornings, afternoons, whatever else needed done sometimes.
What's a radio casting call like? What do you do?
It was unique. This situation, they were hiring for many posts across the company in the local market. So we had 5 stations total. Most stations had a need for somebody to do something at that point. That can vary from being on air. There's also behind the scenes people. Like right now, Dominic Smith and Scott Chapman run a lot of the boards over at Newhoff for a lot of the shows that you hear through the week. So people that are like control panel stuff, maybe even sales teams sometimes. So they were hiring across the board, but for the country station, they needed someone to come on air. And for me, that was what I thought was the right fit, and it was for a long time.
How'd you get your radio name? Toby Tucker.
It's always a fun story. I told it probably a million times. If you heard it, I apologize. So my first boss was like 80s radio man. Like talked like this and everything else all the time. It was like, ease up, bro. We're off the air. And imagine just calling. You call this guy as a sales call. Imagine you're a telemarketer. You call. He's like, "Hello," and it was really awkward. But he gave me an opportunity, so always thankful for that. But he was 80s radio man, so back then it was a lot more shtick, a lot more like no transparency. And he had the name Cadillac Jack that he went by. And so he's like, "We gotta get a name for you." I'm like, "Well, what's wrong with my name?" He's like, It's not radio. I'm like, okay. He's like, you got to develop a character, a persona. I'm like, okay. And so he's like, what kind of nicknames do you have? And we thought about playing off my real name. Thought about being like Will Michaels. But in the radio world, there's so many people using Michaels as a last name. I didn't want to do that. And then he's like, how about Mike Will something? I'm like, nah, just not feeling that either. And I said, if we're going to do it, let's do it. And in college, I was honestly too poor to go out with my buddies and drink. But I learned if I went to the bar where karaoke was and I sang Toby Keith songs, people would buy me beer. So I started going out, singing a little bit, shaking off that whole thing. And then people started buying beer for my Toby Keith songs. So they started calling me Toby in the bar. So you can kind of trade, Pavlov, classical conditioning stuff. Hey, you're Toby. It means they're going to buy you beer. So you start responding to it. And so that was kind of a nickname I had just in the local scene in Charleston there. And it fit for the country station, of course, because Toby Keith was a big deal at the time. And he goes, yeah, it's great. Do we Toby Trucks, Trux? I'm like, dude, what's with you in vehicles? And that's not a last name. And he's like, all right, you got 24 hours to figure something else out. So I got in the phone book. And at the time, there was no social media.
Yeah.
Well, there was MySpace.
Sure.
Remember MySpace? How nice and easy it was?
Yes, love my. You got to pick your top 6 friends at the bottom.
And it was a big deal.
Yes.
It was a big deal.
Yeah.
So I drops out. Oh, man. What do I do? And your favorite song be listed and stuff. Yeah, so much easier back then. But anyway, there was only email communication to the studio. So if you want to request a song via email or enter a contest, you had to email us. So I was like, man, I gotta have a name they can email and spell easily. Yeah, sure. So I went through the phone book and I wanted something with 2 syllables. So it'd be just, what is that? Onomatopoeia, is that the right word? Probably not at all. But where it's like 2 syllables. Yeah. So I went through the phone book and tried a few things. I was like, Tucker is easy, man. Yeah. Tucker just sounds good with this. And I next day presented to him. So I wouldn't be Toby Trucks. And he said, yeah, I love it. Then he wanted to chase this crazy backstory of me being related to Tanya Tucker and all. I'm like, let's not do that. Let's just see how this goes. Yeah. It's funny. The first week or 2 I was on, I get calls occasionally that people I knew that I hadn't seen in a while, didn't know I was doing this. Yeah. It's like, hey, I got a question for you. I'm like, yeah. Is your name really Toby Tucker? I'm like, well, who is this? And then if I found it was like my friends, I'm like, no. And then if it wasn't my friends, I'm like, well, yeah, of course it is. Because it's kind of like the kids in Santa Claus thing, Yeah. Keep it going as long as you can, I guess. And,
that's funny. Yeah. So do people still call you Toby Tucker?
At least once a week. Somewhere, somehow. I don't mind it at all. I mean, I appreciate that they found me like that.
Yeah,
and, gave me their time for so many years. Sure. Kept me employed. Sure. So, I still appreciate it. Just, but happy to be myself finally and making a name for myself.
Cool. So. Okay, so before we talk about the Devon, I do want to ask you about, you're in a band, and I don't know, you were probably one of the first acts back at the Lincoln Theater, right? Is that fair to say? Yeah, with the Christmas concert? Yeah,
so we did it. We did our Christmas show in 2021 and then ramped it up a little bit this year too. Okay. But we've had great support in that from sponsors like Earth Mover. Yeah. And many other community partners that have stepped up to help us. But we do a charity show each Christmas season to give back to the kids on the Salvation Army Angel Street program. Because I was that kid a couple of years growing up. Okay. So it means a lot to me and my guys and gal, my band. When I told them about wanting to do it, they're like, yeah, we're in. Let's make this happen. Yeah. And we used to do kind of a similar thing at the radio station with the Secret Santa concert where we'd bring in an act. We wouldn't tell you who it was till they came on stage, and it was always a big hit. But the pandemic changed so many things in 2020. And with that, the concert kind of went away. And then the radio station said, hey, if you want to keep this up, it was your idea.
Yeah, sure, take it.
We want to be part of it and help share the message and everything. And they do a great job with that too. But yeah, just... it's fun. It's my outlet. It's my one thing I get to do that's not work. Even though it is work.
Right. It's work to put stuff like that on. Absolutely.
Yeah, the band's just fun. It's just my way to unwind.
Yeah. So do you see, like, working at the Devon, is the Lincoln Theater a potential competitor?
No, I don't want to see it that way. I think anything that provides an option for our town to have a quality of life improvement is important. Yeah. I also think anything that can bring people to our town is important. Because for years, how many times did you go out of town to go to a concert? Yeah, to do anything. Play. Or just to find entertainment. And post-pandemic, things changed a lot in the entertainment scene, I think, locally. And getting a building like that, too, that's so much a part of our history, through every facet that it's been, whether it be a live entertainment venue, a movie theater, or whatever else, you don't want to see things like that go away. Yeah, it's iconic. Yeah, and I think the team that's there is doing a really good job of restoring it to what it was always meant to be. Sure. I think they have a great vision. We talk quite a bit. Yeah. Just again, we want to be good partners to the town as a whole. So I think their goal is to kind of operate when we're not operating. Yeah. And vice versa. They understand our spot in the community. And I think I want to say likewise that we do the same for them.
Absolutely. Okay, so the Devon Lakeshore Amphitheater has been here since 2019 was the first season, the kickoff season. Yeah. Have you been over it the whole time?
Yeah, I hired in October of 18, late in the month. I came in and got in there and started getting things moving.
Yeah, so what was it like being hired in August for shows that were starting in May?
It was October, so even a shorter window.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I said August, I apologize. I probably did. But yeah, we got in there late October, and first of all, I was figuring out what was the goal for them. What did the park district see the Devon being? Because it's their building, not mine. And the initial plan, I think, was to kind of not do quite as much.
Yeah.
And I sat there for a week going, well, what else are we going to do the rest of the time?
Yeah.
And I looked over all the documents they gave me about what they had been shared with initially and kind of what research had showed people wanted to see there and things. And I went to my boss and said, hey, I've seen this. I've seen your pack of plans, but here's what I want to propose. And I said, sure, let's do it. And we implemented a season ticket, which has been a huge success since day one. Thankful for so much support in that regard. Most people bought tickets before knowing what our lineup was.
Yeah.
Or even seeing the facility because it didn't really get finished. I mean, fully finished until a week before we opened.
Yeah, I can kind of remember when that was coming together there at the end. I mean, there was like fresh paint on the ground the morning of the first show, you know, I mean, that kind of stuff. So
yeah, just painting the front of the stairs for safety lighting and stuff.
Right.
Yeah, just it's stuff you keep up with. But when you're first opening a brand new venue, and I remember the first weekend we thought we had such a good handle on all the processes, you know, for entry, for security, for everything else, for food, for drink. And then we go, well, we missed this, we missed this, we missed this. So how do we get it right or better by next weekend?
So, I mean, talk a little bit about what it takes. I think a lot of us, people that are in charge of just like various things in the community, we know that no good deed goes unpunished, right? I mean, you're chastised for a lot of things. Some of it's in your control and some of it's out of your control.
Sure.
What does it take to put on a show there? I mean, just like let's just say an average show, you know, not the biggest one, not the smallest one, but what does it take? How many employees? Like, what are all the moving parts?
Well, we have a staff of about 90 people that we employ. They're all part-time that work with me and other full-time people in the park district to put events on. We don't need all 90 every night. Obviously, that's a lot of people. But on a large night, we might have 50 to 60 people working. From the stagehand crew to our security team, concessions and bartenders, and then guest relations on out to parking even. So, I mean, we have a whole team that's very important. Each person plays a role in that. But with that, I mean, every show starts with getting the act booked. And that's the thing that I think people don't fully understand how that works. We put a post on our page a few weeks back kind of explaining that process.
Yeah.
And
I saw that.
It got a lot of reach. It was like, whoa, they loved this. It's interesting. Because I thought 20 people would care. But it was hundreds of people.
Yeah. No, people do like to see kind of those behind the scenes things and what kind of eye-opening what goes into it.
So I think first of all, for us, it's booking and it's finding acts that are going to be appealing across the gamut. We do our best to serve every single person in our community something at least once a season. I want to make you want to make everyone happy, but it's not realistic. Can you?
I know. So, let's sidebar real quick. I know that there's naysayers about like there's too many country acts, or I'm tired of 80s rock. It's annoying, or oh my gosh, they're having a rap show. This is going to be a disaster. You can't really make everybody happy. But what do you try to do to overcome some of that just like negative speak?
It's hard sometimes to have thick skin with it and not respond back to maybe every comment you either hear in passing somewhere you're at or even on social media and things. Sometimes you know it's time to, hey, just give me a call. And there's been comments I've seen on Facebook over the few years that are like not accurate. So I say, hey, give me a call if you can.
Yeah.
And I've learned that just talking to people face to face or on the phone, you can really just create a relationship with them too. A trust, if you will.
Absolutely.
That you do care. You want to hear what they have to say.
Yeah.
You may not be able to agree with everything they say, but you can at least listen to it and at least give them feedback on it. You know, it's, you'll never make everyone happy. And you book a country show, well, the rock fans post who? just because it's an old thing they've done for 15 years.
Yeah.
They still do it. So get some new material.
Yeah.
But it's just funny. You let it go. It's whatever.
Yeah.
Then you put a rock show, and then rock show doesn't get a lot of complaints.
Yeah.
Generally. But then when you have an R&B show or hip hop show, people chime in on that too. And the thing is, we're always going to bring in stuff that we feel confidently will get to our community.
Yeah.
Be well received. Go off smoothly.
Yeah.
We do a lot of things to keep the venue safe for every single show, no matter what the genre is. We look at the number of people coming. That's what we look at. How many are we expecting tonight? Is it 2,000? Is it 3,000? Is it 1,200? That makes a difference.
Sure.
That's what we focus on.
Yeah.
And, we've been very fortunate that we've had no issues of any sort in 3 years of operation now.
Yeah.
You people every now and then want to have a little dust up over, you bumped into me and spilled my beer.
Sure.
We see it quick. We have eyes everywhere,
Yeah.
and we diffuse things quick.
I mean,
if you can't, you go home. That's simple. There's no warnings. Cooperate, you go home.
Yeah. The staff there, and I mean, I've been to the Devon too many times to count, and the staff is so kind and attentive, and you can tell everybody really takes their job seriously, and it's kind of nice and refreshing to see that kind of active staff working about.
Our first goal every night is to give every guest a good, safe place to enjoy a show and send you home safely. That's our number one goal, and the staff takes that. I would put our team up against any venue in this country.
And it's clean. Like if anybody hasn't been to the Devon, I would say that an outdoor concert venue, I mean, I don't personally hold high standards for its cleanliness. I really don't, just across the board. But the Devon is clean. And I don't feel like it's just because it's new. I think it's because it's well taken care of.
I was on the phone today with a lady that works for a major concert company out of Chicago. I mean, we're talking major company. And she said, I moved here from Charleston, South Carolina, been in Chicago for 6 or 7 years now. She said, but I came across your venue and went, wow. She said, what a gem.
Yeah.
I said, you have no idea. To have this in our community, a community this size, absolute blessing. So, I mean, between the state providing some funding, the Park District funding, and the Howard G. Bova Foundation supplying funding for this, just a huge asset.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, so we've talked about booking. What else goes on behind the scenes?
Everything
on a show night.
Show night kind of starts like this. We get there first thing in the morning. Depending when the band arrives, it could be 7 a.m.
Okay.
It could be 9 or 10 a.m., maybe 11 sometimes if you're lucky.
Yeah.
Just sleep in a bit.
Sleep in.
Do a lot of back-to-back days.
Yeah.
And so the stagehand crew's there first. I'm there with them sometimes not, depending on how serious of a show it is that day. And they start getting the show ready, get the stage ready. The band will come in a little later. They'll start loading stuff in. Sound check rolls on. Most of our staff kind of comes in between 3 and 5. First people in are going to be our people setting the bars up, getting food ready in concession stand. They'll be in early, and then our everyone else comes in around 5 o'clock. We go over the pre-show meeting. Hey, here's the plans for tonight. Here's the crowd we expect. Here's what time this happens, that happens. Here's some things that might be different tonight if there are any changes of any sort. Here's the wristbands we're using. Here's the stamps we're using.
Yeah.
Go kick butt.
Yeah.
And
awesome.
It's great.
What events happen at the Devon that aren't music?
We have a lot of things that happen it's still music, but the Decatur Municipal Band is there.
Oh, yeah.
Sharing their
is that
awesome
free?
Talents. Yeah. Free for the community. They'll be there June, July, and August this year.
Okay.
They're excellent. If you just want to go take your kids to something different, get them off the tablet for a little bit, off the video game for a little bit.
Yeah.
Take them to see the Muni Band.
Yeah.
Especially if they're starting band in school or thinking about it.
For sure.
These are really talented local people that go work 9 to 5 jobs and then go do this for fun too.
Yeah.
They're excellent. But we have rentals too from places like Debbie's Dance Studio comes in.
Oh, okay.
Also, our arts department puts on the Boss Best of Summer Stock program there, with the junior also being produced there.
Okay.
We have different community rentals for different organizations that come in. We have church services there.
Okay, that's cool.
We show movies. We have free movies that air. We'll do I think 4 of those this year is the plan right now.
And Kanto was off the chain last year.
I had missed that night, and I got a phone call going, "Hello, what is happening?" I was like, "What do you mean?" They said, "Well, the concession line was like 40 minutes long, maybe longer." I'm like, "What? What?" And our average movies, we have 400 or 500 people come. They think there's like 1,200 people at this one. And we're still fully staffed, but we have, the windows we have at concession stand is all we have to work with.
Sure.
So when everyone wants a popcorn, they said there was people coming up ordering 12 waters, 15 popcorns. And it's just like, okay.
Unexpected.
Yeah, we did not expect Encanto to be quite like it was, but
people love that movie.
We're forecasting the movies for this year right now, trying to get that locked in. We don't have dates or movies to announce just yet, but they're coming very soon.
Cool. Okay, what next to talk about?
There's so much.
There's so much about the Devon. What's been your favorite show so far that you've done?
That's hard. Kind of at different levels. There's been some favorites for different reasons. Brothers Osborne was incredible last year.
Okay.
Coming off a Grammy win. The production they had was just top notch.
So
and the show was.
I didn't go to that show. I am not admittedly a huge country fan.
Sure.
So I don't know. It just doesn't really appeal to me. However, the videos I saw from that show
made you want to be there.
Were wild.
Yeah.
I mean, that was like for real concert.
Yeah, they're just absolutely fantastic. There's real musicians doing real music that really care. Sometimes artists you see on shows don't really feel like they don't care to be there.
Yeah, we try to
avoid those acts.
Yeah, for sure. Once you know,
Yeah, we try to avoid those acts and pick ones that are really going to put on a quality show. And bring stuff to Decatur that Decatur hasn't seen before.
Yeah.
Is great too. But The Little Mermen was a group we brought in that surprised everyone. They're just a bunch of Broadway performers wearing Disney-type costumes and singing Disney movie songs and TV songs. But it brings families out. And there's not always a lot of family entertainment to bring that's going to make sense. But I think a couple years ago we had our first real big like R&B hip hop show with Genuine, Maya, and Chingy.
Yeah.
And it was 2,700 people. Just a mix of all kinds of people there, all ages, and just had a great time.
Yeah.
Brought the energy up. And then Toby Mac last year for Christian fans.
Yeah.
One of the most energetic shows we've had.
Yeah.
So I just love when people are leaving. I always stand by the front gate during that time, and I love people going, wow, I didn't expect this tonight.
Right, yeah.
And I want to leave that impression every week.
I was going to ask a question based on something you just said. What show are you most excited for this year? That's been announced yet. So is there still shows to be announced?
Yeah, we've probably got a couple more to still roll out.
Is Here Come the Mummies one?
We are not bringing them back this year.
OMG. I'm not going to lie to you. That's like my fave.
They're fun. We just don't want to burn anything out.
I know.
Give us some room to breathe and bring it back a year or two later.
Okay.
We have a couple repeats this year, but not many.
Okay.
Goo Goo Dolls is one I'm really excited about.
That's going to be a good one.
Yeah.
What's the one at the end?
Oh, Platinum Rock Legends.
Oh yeah, that one. That one is fun too.
They're always one people love. I'm honestly really excited about the T-Pain show because he's such a big name in pop music and R&B, hip hop.
Yeah.
Plus, he's big on like social media channels like Twitch with online streaming and gaming.
Yeah.
He's got a really cool following. He's like a really cool dude. When he was the Masked Singer, just people that didn't expect him to be that guy were amazed by his ability and his talent.
Yeah.
So, really love him this year. We've got a couple more to announce. I think we're going to be some crowd pleasers. So it's stacked this year. It's hard to pick.
Do you get, what are ticket prices like?
It varies. Every show is different, of course. We have some nights where the lawn tickets will be $5. So super affordable. Maybe on those nights, the seats for $10 or $12 kind of thing.
And I will say, like, the nights where it's like that for a family of my size, we'll take the kids. Like you said, there's not a lot of family shows, and that's true. Like not like the Little Mermen, but the Devon is a family venue. I mean, really, there's some shows that probably aren't great for kids, but a lot of just like the regular country or rock ones, the kids like going out and sitting in the lawn or running around and listening. And we
try to pick stuff that's going to be, kind of a PG basis.
Yeah.
We even put in some contracts. Hey, it needs to be a clean show.
Sure.
So please keep the F word either off or very limited. It happens. It's just live music. It's going to happen
music,
occasionally.
Right.
But, tickets will range from, again, $5 in the lawn on up to some ones this year. We've had a couple bigger names come in. And ticket prices are always reflective on what the band is charging.
Sure.
Not what we just want to charge.
Right.
And sometimes the act says, hey, our tickets cost this much everywhere we go. So that's how much they cost here too. And, we have some of this that are north of $100 this year for up close seating and things.
Sure.
But as we grow and get names that are bigger, that cost more, that's going to happen. We can't make the venue any bigger. So we have to spread the cost that is there across the number of seats we have.
Yeah. Do you feel like you'll get complaints about tickets being so expensive?
That's always going to be a concern.
Sure.
Because we want to make sure we're providing the best option for everyone to be able to come as much as they want to.
Right.
But even on the nights when the ones down low or close to stage are $100 some, the lawn might be $45.
Yeah, so there's still a reasonable option.
Outlandish by any means. And we also keep our ticketing fees much lower than a lot of other providers and venues do.
Yeah.
On purpose.
Okay. What is the most people you've had at a show?
Either the Trace Atkins show in 2019, it was sold out, and so was Kevin Costner.
Costner was?
Yeah, with his band.
Really?
Modern West, yeah. Both were sold out, north of 3,100 or 3,200 people.
Okay.
So those are probably our two biggest so far.
Kevin Costner, you didn't mention as one of your favorites.
I maybe would have, just because it was really different. It was just, the weird thing was when he came out, they played this kind of pre-roll video montage, about 7 or 8 minutes long of his like top feature films.
Okay.
Some cool scenes from those movies, from all of them. And then they kind of stopped the music or winds down, and the band's kind of tuning up. And he walked out from the dressing room, walked on stage with a little wine flute, and just kind of toasted the crowd. You could have heard a whisper across the place. People were just like, it's like, yeah, he's real. He does exist.
Starstruck.
Yeah, it was the craziest thing I've ever seen at a concert of any nature. And then the band put on their show. He was very kind. And then I got to see him about a couple months later. He played in the area again and went to the show. And his manager saw me there. He goes, hey, come with me. I said, where are we going? He goes, we're going to the bus. I'm like, okay. So come on, Mom, come. He goes, we'll get her in a minute. Come on. And so took me out to the bus, and Kevin said, man, we loved your venue.
Good.
We loved your people.
Yeah.
Your hospitality.
Yeah.
We want to come back.
Oh, that's so nice to hear.
Maybe sometime.
Yeah.
It's not on the calendar this year, but maybe sometime.
Who's the nicest act?
That's tough.
Are most people pretty nice, or are some people mean?
Yeah, the only
Who's
thing
the meanest?
we had a win artist last year. I will not bring back. I'll just put it that way. But no, generally, if there's ever any kinks, it's because like we had a large breakfast order last year. Breakfast order for group playing, and it was late. The restaurant was short staffed, as many are.
Sure.
So we understand that. Give you all the allowances to be that way and operate as you need to. But the breakfast was about an hour late getting delivered, and that kind of put a foul taste in this one manager's mouth for a little bit. But then once we got the rest of the day moving, things were great. And he said, hey, thanks for everything. Want to come back see you again. Yeah. So we work hard to give the band any amenity we can within reason. But it's great, too, is with being the park district, we have golfing we can help them with.
Oh, yeah.
If they want to go to the water park, we can help with that. If they want us to go play miniature golf, we can do that.
Yeah.
Fitness center, basketball courts. We have many amenities they can enjoy while they're here. Yeah. So it's pretty nice. If they want to go boating, we'll find a boat for them if we can.
Yeah, that's cool.
So,
are you fully staffed for this year?
We've got a bunch of applications right now.
Okay.
I'm working through those as we speak.
Okay.
Scheduling interviews and stuff. We got probably about 200 applications.
So you probably don't need any more
filling about 20 jobs.
Okay. So. Yeah. It's probably a sought after thing to go just hang out and. Yeah,
a lot of people get referred by friends that work there.
Sure.
And we bring them on if we can, if it makes sense for their schedule and what we're looking for. We have a great team. I thank them so much for all the work they put in to make the venue really what it is.
Yeah. What else to talk about? Do you have anything? Anything you want people to know about the Devon that we don't know?
You covered a lot of it. The minute I'll leave, I'll think of something, but
you have a bunch of. We can talk about like the season tickets. So, how many season ticket packages do you sell?
So we've got two options for season tickets.
Okay.
We got what we call the kind of all-in or platinum level this year. And we're introducing the Pick Your Pack program this year.
Okay.
We only have lawn available.
Okay.
We have a wait list that's full, unfortunately, for terrace and reserve seating. But if you want to come for a lawn season ticket, you're more than welcome to join us this year. Those will be on sale here in the coming days.
Okay.
But the Pick Your Pack program is kind of cool because what it's going to allow us to do is certain nights, there'll be more available seating in the upfront area.
Oh, okay.
Because some people that had those seats for, say, 28 shows that are included this year said, hey, you know what, we're traveling more, or we just don't care for everything on the schedule this year. We're just not going to come as much as we used to, or can't, or whatever. We'll take 14 shows.
Oh,
and we have them kind of broken out by kind of pricing level. So it's A, B, C, and D, and they pick a couple in each category, and then they fill their 14 quota, and then 14 shows. Those seats are now available for people in the public to have a better chance to sit closer and enjoy a show.
That's really cool.
But also it gives them time back, because I mean, I don't think when we started anyone figured we'd be going once or twice a week, maybe 3 times a week for 20 weeks.
Yeah.
So it fills up the calendars pretty quick.
Yeah, absolutely.
But we're doing both those this year, so those will be on sale again in the coming days.
Okay. So you have business support.
Yes.
Who are some of the businesses that purchase, do sponsorships? How does that work?
Of course, Earth Mover Credit Union is there.
Yeah.
We've got Staley Credit Union.
Yep.
Is there as well. We've got our friends at Bryn Carter. Also Decatur Custom Tool. The Shellings with State Farm. Both Melanie and Al are part of that. Northwestern Mutual Team.
Okay.
With Todd and Caleb over here. You got
don't forget anybody.
G&H Marine is there, also with the Key Team.
Yeah.
With Tony and his team from Bryn Carter.
Okay.
You've got Antler Excavating. Also, Bob Brady Auto Group is there. You got Refreshment Services Pepsi involved. Our friends at Danzig.
Okay.
Then the Lakeview deck. This is where it gets fun. We got 6 people sharing a space.
Okay.
So we've got Bodine Electric. Got Dunn Company. We've got McLeod Trucking.
Okay.
McLeod Express. We've got Mike Lambden with ML CrossFit, his group in there. Red Zone Fitness. We've also got Vector Construction and BC Bank in there.
Oh, okay, cool.
And then we've got other partners that help out with not the VIP areas, but we have several that buy our ground graphics to support things. We've also got a partnership with the Hampton Inn and Mount Zion area that helps us with hotel rooms when needed for our acts.
Cool.
We also work with the Decatur Conference Center and Hotel for certain shows too.
Cool.
So, partnership's huge. Huge for us, and we hope that what we give back to those partners is worth the investment.
Sure.
So, it's been great. Had benefits across the board from the get-go with that. So,
you have food trucks out there. Do you have food trucks out there every night?
Yeah, we try to. It's all based on their scheduling, if they can come or not. But we had one food truck this year that when we put the schedule out, he wrote back within 5 minutes that I'll take every night. So we're going to have a resident food truck with Taqueria La Perlita.
Oh, people love
Rogelio
that.
has been fantastic there.
Yeah.
But many other favorites are back.
Good.
As well. Periodically dates. We'll have Allen Concessions back. We'll have Highway Heartburn back. We'll have Forever Sisters Kitchen back this year.
Okay.
I know Turkey Man's going to be there a little bit.
Cool.
And we're mixing some new food trucks this year too.
Awesome.
So maybe some that are dessert specialized.
Oh.
Because we don't have a lot of that there in the candy bars.
I know, yeah.
Or maybe a sweet drink of some sort.
Okay.
But
I like that.
There'll be some options for dessert things occasionally. Okay. Mr. Softy also comes down sometimes. So we're just excited to bring some new things, and we're reaching out, I think, further than Decatur finally.
Yeah. So what's the furthest you know of that somebody's come to a show?
Other
like
countries
on
have been
purpose.
here. Yeah, other countries have been here for shows. We had a couple guests last year from the UK that came in for select shows. They might have been in the area for something else, but they saw this on the calendar and came here. We had a cover band, the Port Tornadoes, which are back this year. If you didn't see them, they're incredible, super fun, but they've got a lot of viral things on YouTube and such. And there was a couple that ordered tickets from Washington State and flew here just to see them for the first time. We saw the venue online. It looked great. We wanted to come here. So it's good to know we're bringing people to our town that wouldn't normally be here.
Right. Well, and I mean, Decatur's inexpensive, relatively, place to come see a concert, I would assume. Yeah,
I mean, our tickets are always, I think, under market value in most cases, especially with our ticketing fees not being crazy.
Okay.
But then, I mean, you got hotels that are $100 to $130 a night, maybe.
Right.
You've got restaurants that are right in the middle range from no matter what your budget might be. Gas, gas is what it is in Illinois, but outside of that, I mean, you can fly out of St. Louis, Chicago, Decatur, Indianapolis, and be where you need to be shortly.
Yeah,
so
you have options.
Pretty nice.
How are tickets for sale now?
For some things, yeah.
Okay.
We're going to be rolling out more of our single show tickets
in
the coming days. I don't know the exact timeline yet. Working on all of that. We had a slight delay last week. We lost a show that we had scheduled.
Oh, yeah.
So we need to fill that hole before we fully get everything out.
Okay.
But we're really, really close. So.
How are there shows where you're like midway through the year and somebody's like a maybe band that you didn't think you'd be able to get becomes available, you try to squeeze them in?
Sure. We had that with Cheap Trick last year. Cheap Trick was a late ad. We got about 60 days advance on that one. Trace Atkins was about maybe 4 weeks out.
Oh, geez.
And sold out.
And you said that was one of your biggest shows.
Yeah, sold out within a few days.
Yeah.
And then same with Kevin Costner.
Okay.
It was probably about a 60-day notice on that, and it sold out within 3 days.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's just sometimes the big ones just fall in your lap because they're coming through the area anyway. They call it routing. And they're like, hey, we're going to Milwaukee. We need to pick up a date. Your place came across our desk. What do you think? And we'll talk with them on negotiations, back to contracts and purchasing shows. Hey, how much does your artist want? How much do tickets need to be to go with it? And what other costs are there involved? Because there's other things too, like there's a whole thing called backline, which what that is all the things to put a show on. So instruments, risers, video walls, microphones, monitors. I mean, just all this stuff that costs money.
Sure.
So yeah, maybe the act is $60,000. We've got another $40,000 in cost beyond that.
Yeah.
We still got to cover before it makes sense. And
right.
sometimes it doesn't make sense. You got to say thanks, but no thanks.
Pass. Yeah.
If the price comes down, give me a call back.
Yeah.
But
do you feel heartbroken about some of those you've had to pass on?
Yeah, there's some I've really wanted that just didn't end up happening for various reasons. There's one I thought I had this year. I was like, yeah, and just because not my favorite at all.
Yeah.
But it's an act that people would really like to see here, I think.
Sure.
And I thought we had this person lined away pretty well.
Yeah.
And then they came and goes, hey, not going to work out. Tour plans changed. And we had one last year that we were pretty confident in. And then this person's filming schedule changed.
Okay.
For a movie they were shooting. And out they went.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it happens. It's a constantly evolving thing. An artist that told you no last week may call you back in 2 weeks, go, hey, we had somebody else pick up a date. We can look at that weekend in July now.
Yeah.
But that weekend in July may be gone at that point too. So we had that, now we don't.
Yeah.
So
kind of a never ending.
It's evolving.
Scheduling.
We start booking for the next year probably in August, September.
Okay. So while you're still going a little bit, or maybe when you're just wrapping up.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a lot to think about.
There's offers we had in for this year that literally sat in the booking company for 3 months before we got a yes or no firmly on it.
Yeah.
So it's all part of the game.
Yeah, for sure. So how can people get tickets? When they do become available, where do people go?
Yeah, 2 places. Don't go anywhere but these 2 places. You'll get scalper tickets.
Oh, yeah, that's
You'll pay
a thing.
way more than you should for them, and we can't guarantee they're authentic.
Okay.
Etix, etix.com.
Okay.
That's our official ticket provider.
Okay.
You can also buy through Devon, Amphitheater.com.
Okay.
All the links go to Etix from our website.
Cool.
So don't do a Google search and click the first thing.
Okay.
You don't want to do that.
Etix or the Amphitheater site.
Save you some money and get authentic tickets.
What drinks are you going to have at the Devon this year?
Working on that. It's tough because, as I explained to my boss, who's always like, why are there so many drinks in the cooler? Because palettes are changing a lot for drink offerings.
I know.
If you go to Walmart, they've expanded the whole booze section into where the baby stuff used to be because
naturally
there's a lot more like
Parents
seltzers and beers are changing so much from just the usual light beer. Domestic light and colds are still happening, but now people want other stuff too. And so we try to represent that and hopefully have something for everyone. You won't always. But we'll have a mix of, beers. We'll have a mix of malt beverages, some vodka sodas.
Cool. White Claw?
Something along those lines.
Come on.
If not that brand, yes, something similar.
Not coming back if there's not White Claw.
And of course, the whole line of Pepsi products and everything else too. So literally try to do something for everyone on that regard too.
And you have Heinkel. Do you still serve Heinkel dogs?
Yeah, we love serving Heinkels because they're local products. We try to bring local products any chance we can because support the community.
Do you do craft beer from
we do the 3 breweries.
Okay.
So we have Decatur Brew Works.
Okay.
We have Golden Fox and Door 4 all on tap.
Golden Fox. I always forget about Golden Fox.
And they have a great beer that sells a lot.
Yeah.
And we may also bring in a canned option from Door 4 this year.
Oh,
maybe.
Cool. Yeah.
Still working on that. And yes, we love supporting them. We also carry Dell's popcorn. And when in season, some Dell's caramel apples. Because, again, local flavor.
Cool.
So if you have something you want us to carry that makes sense.
Can people call you?
Absolutely. We love seeing new things. And, every idea isn't my idea that works out. So we love people calling us, giving us suggestions. We field messages on Facebook every week about, I love this band. You should check them out.
Yeah.
sometimes they're right.
Yeah.
We should check them out.
Sure.
Other times, maybe we can't afford them, or maybe they just don't make sense for us. But yeah, some of our great shows have been suggested by people.
That's really cool. That's really cool to take fan feedback.
Tyler Childers.
Yeah.
We need to see
I know. That would be
He's
good.
a little too big at this point. But,
we need to see it.
Yeah.
Make it work.
Well, we got a great guy. We got some great stuff coming in that's going to be kind of in the same vein. Whiskey Myers coming in this year is a huge get.
Oh, yeah. People are excited
much
about
same
that
vein
one.
as Tyler Childers. So a lot of crossover in those two crowds. But it's also our fastest selling show right now.
Cool.
So it's incredible where we started to where we are now in just 3 seasons is beyond my expectations even. But that's because the community and the outlying areas have supported us.
Yeah.
And who knows what's next.
Yeah. I'm certainly excited for the upcoming season and really to see where the Devon kind of takes off from here. Kind of maybe one last question, I don't know, but how much do you feel like the Devon fills the void of Celebration? Like, I've brought up Celebration with maybe 3 of my guests because I love this celebration.
I think we
so
all
much.
did. I think we all did. And, I miss it. And I think it fills the entertainment void. There's certain things in the celebration that were magical about it.
I know.
I think seeing friends you haven't seen in a while was always nice. Like,
but you get that at the Devon.
Absolutely, every weekend.
Yeah.
Every weekend. But
you'll run into somebody that you haven't seen in years.
Yeah, it was cool though. The ones like having the once a year kind of reunion deal.
Yeah.
But I mean, the food trucks galore was just awesome, and we just don't have room for that kind of thing where we're at. It's not the ideal land location for 75 food trucks. Nor do we have the amount of people just strolling that would need that. But I miss my is it Thai chicken on a stick?
With the rice.
Yes, for like $10.
Was that the best?
Yeah, I'm like, whatever that was, I want that recipe and just
know.
try to figure out how to make it at home.
I know.
I would eat that literally every meal all weekend and have no problem with it.
So good.
But no, I think it's hard to replace something like that. That's a mainstay, and I mean, it's my growing up. I went every year but one. That's why I missed one.
I know. I don't know if I really ever missed a year. I'm not kidding.
My best friend got married in Georgia, had to go to a wedding, couldn't be here for that.
Yeah.
But I went to every other one. I think I probably could. And I mean, we all miss it, and you never know. You down the road, someone find a way to do something similar, maybe.
I'm working very hard on a resuscitation.
Cool. And even if it's not quite as big, just having something that might have feel that same way would be kind of neat. But I mean, it's okay for things to evolve though too. At the same time.
Absolutely.
Everything has a lifespan.
Yeah.
And you see it when people complain about, well, this building's being torn down. They shouldn't torn it down because, well, why is it being torn down? Really, do you know the full aspect of it? Maybe
nobody never knows the full anything.
Maybe there's a structural issue.
Yeah.
In it. Maybe it's not safe for whatever reason, full of asbestos or who knows.
Yeah.
And I'm with them. I don't love seeing things change, but also be okay to see what comes next.
Yeah. So. Yep, I do think that Devon has filled that entertainment void because there was some fun shows at the celebration, especially in its last years, that really kind of, I think, got people more excited about live music here in Decatur, that maybe that wasn't there before, but it got you kind of looking forward to it.
It's crazy too, because Decatur has so many talented musicians, again, back to the muni band, but also the local like cover bands and stuff. And there's also local original bands that need your support. Yeah. So when we can, we love bringing them onto our stage and let them have an opportunity to share their talents. Yeah. And we've been able to have many of them on there this year, but also new ones coming on this year that were not there before. Like Free Range Youth is going to open up a show for us. Yeah. They're incredible. Yeah. So, if you love the Devon, if you love live music, support your local musicians, please.
Yeah,
and support the venues bringing them in. Talking to some bar owners too that bring live music in, they've had some hard times since the pandemic. Don't be scared to go see a band. Yeah. Pay the $5.
The $5 cover.
Pay it because it's worth your money.
Yeah.
These people that do music spend a lot of time learning it, how to do it. They spend money on keeping up their instruments and their gear. Sure. They travel. They give up time with their families to be there to entertain you. Yeah. And the bars also invest in that. Sure. And other venues as well, not just bars, but if you can ever support local music, go do it.
What's your favorite bar to watch a band in?
Sliders has the most that I go to, probably just because they have them all the time. Pops has great lineups too. The VFW does stuff. I know I'm missing a few, so I apologize. Yeah. But those are ones I know. And Bargina, actually, out in Argina, has bands all the time. So does the Full House in Maroa. Some of these smaller bars have really fun bands. And just because you don't know who the band is,
doesn't mean you won't like
them.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like, imagine if you only ate the same food forever.
Yeah.
Because you didn't try something new.
Right.
How boring would life be?
Doesn't make sense.
Like, spice it up, And, it's just great local talent. And find these places that are doing live music and go support them.
Yeah, and back to the Lincoln Theater again. They've had not just you there doing live music. They've had some other stuff. And I think it's important for people to go support, even if you're not really that familiar. Go check out what it looks like in there. See what it's like to catch a show there.
They had a pretty heavy 80s, 90s rock show back in, I think, November. And they had a great crowd.
Yeah.
Went really well for them. And they've got some shows coming up, too. So, just take time, see what's out there. And everyone here has nothing to do in this town because, trust me, you look around, there's something somewhere. You just may not know about it yet.
Yep. It's not the case anymore. There's things to do here.
Fundraiser events, special events. I mean, parades still going on.
Parades, woo.
All kinds of fun stuff. Yep. So get out there and check it out.
Okay. Anything else we should know about you, about the Devon?
No, I think the Park District in general, just want to give a pitch for my employer. I didn't realize.
The Devon is part of the Park District,
yes,
in case people didn't know.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I didn't know until I started working there, just all the programs we have going, all the facilities we have going. And, there's been a great push the past little while to be more inclusive, more offerings for all kinds of people. So even those with disabilities and everything, we've seen a huge growth in our seniors program out of the Scoville Activity Center on the west side, the former golf course clubhouse.
It's nice for a change to see cars in that parking lot.
Dana and her team out there have just done a great job. Megan's helped out with that, and Gabby and many others too just have grown that program huge from the time at Johns Hill Senior Center. So that's great. We've got special athletes competing in Special Olympics to our special rec programs. Baseball, softball slabs coming up. Summer day camp coming up.
Yep.
Parks are busy all the time. Pickleball's growing like crazy.
I know.
New bike trail finished to connect to 4 sites recently. So additional boat docks at the lake now for boat slips. So parks do so much for this town, and it feels good to be part of a positive energy.
Yeah, absolutely. I think people for sure don't realize the number of programs, spaces probably that are under the Park District. So certainly probably a part of most people's day-to-day lives.
Yeah, we serve hundreds of thousands of people a year through what we do.
Yeah. So. Yeah. Awesome. Okay, Mike, thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks so much,
Mike,
Jess.
Also known as Toby Tucker, but Mike Walcott. Formerly Toby Tucker. We're looking forward to a year at the Devon.
Me too. Bring it on.
All right.
Good job, guys.
Good job, Jess.
Thank you for joining us. Make sure to like and subscribe on whatever platform you're listening. And be sure to follow us for more content on our social media channels at Decatur Earth Mover Credit Union.